Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to Blue Carbon Summit 2018. Kita berikan tepuk tangan untuk kita semua. Let's give a big applause for this event. And we would like to welcome especially to the President Indonesian Academy of Science, Professor Satrio Sumantri Brojonegoro. And we would like to welcome Director General, the Center for International Forestry Research, Mr. Robert Nasi. Please welcome. And we would like to welcome Deputy Coordinating Ministry of Maritime Affairs, Bapak Safri Burhanuddin. And we would like to welcome Representative Ministry of Environment and Forestry, and Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, and Indonesian Ministry of National Development Planning, and also National Library. Please welcome. And also we would like to welcome all academicians and participants of this Carbon Summit 2018. This event will be in English, but some part will be in Bahasa, and we provide translation tools for you to help you to understand this discussion. And if you need this translation tools, you can take the tools in front of this auditorium room in a registration table. And ladies and gentlemen, to open this event, we would like to sing together Indonesian anthem. Please stand up. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Our distinguished guests, Indonesia has a whole lot of mangrove with very big carbon store that not even one continent can divide it. It is a big potential, but in other hand, a whole lot of mangrove are destroyed every year. We need a long-term regulation to manage the potential, and this summit is a good start to give input in good regulation to protect the potential of the carbon. Diarso for organizer report. Please welcome Professor Daniel.
Fasten your seatbelt, please. You are jumping to the mud. Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Murdiarso. I'm with both Academy of Sciences as well as with CIFOR. So I have two bosses this morning sitting in front of me to tell you why we are here and what we've been doing so far and what we are expecting in the next 2 days and the way forward. So this summit is organized with the support of the Ministry of, Coordinating Ministry of Maritime Affairs. And this is a great pleasure to work with colleagues in the ministry because we are aware that the coordinating ministry coordinates so many sectors in Indonesia, among others fishery, shipping and transportation, mining, and many others, which are closely related to the blue carbon issues. So we are also pleased to work with Bappenas because we thought as organizer of this event, the outcome, the deliverable of this process need to be mainstream in the national agenda. And Bappenas is, we thought, the right place to go so that we have collaboration with Bappenas and many stakeholders through the national planning. So with those support, we would like to nurture the knowledge and experience from you today and tomorrow and expect to have a lot of contribution from the audience, the participants, the speakers. We have 60 speakers speaking in the plenary sessions and also in the discussion forum. This discussion forum will be divided into 8 discussion forums today and tomorrow. So some of the session will be held on the 4th floor. So we are very thankful to the National Library who provide these facilities, nice facilities for us to engage and run this meeting today. We will be moving up and down. Some of people will be going up to 4th floor. This is 2nd floor. Some will go up to 4th floor. And for dinner tonight, we will go up to the rooftop on the 24th floor. And that's the only time we go up. But most of the session will be live streamed, so we would also like to greet our participants virtually. Today it is a live stream, and also most of the session in this room will be live streamed. We think that this is the right time to work on this topic because a lot of critical mass already share their knowledge, already have result. So we want to sit together and see how this thing can be provided for the government to make a science-based recommendation related to blue carbon. So the mangrove actually, although it was mentioned that we have large amount of mangrove, to see other aspect of blue carbon, mangrove certainly is the prime kind of mover if we are thinking about blue carbon, and a lot of people have been working on this. Again, we would like to hear the report from those working on mangrove and how the result can be used for this recommendation. We also heard that and found that the destruction of mangrove is massive. The emission is equal to 40 million less or fewer cars on the road. That's about 200 million tons. So it's very important to think about mangrove alone as blue carbon or coastal blue carbon ecosystem. At least understood about seagrass. But we are glad today or tomorrow we will have at least 7 people talking about seagrass. So we will listen more about this very important ecosystem, part of the blue carbon ecosystem, to be exposed scientifically so that we have a better understanding about how mangrove and seagrass will have to be dealt with. Who do not know that Indonesia is very rich in coral reef? This is also very attractive for ecotourism, very attractive for generating revenue through ecotourism. So ecotourism is another component that we can think about linking blue carbon in this sector. Fish industries is also very important for Indonesia, and these things are very related to the health of the ocean. So blue carbon is not only looking at the issue of sequestering carbon, but also the issue of adapting with the changing of the environment, especially climate, and it is affecting the fish industry as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, we thought that coordinating Ministry of Marine Affairs is the right place to work with, and fishery should flourish in the future as the health of the blue carbon ecosystem is maintained. We're looking at ecotourism is everywhere in Indonesia and also in the region, and certainly maintaining blue carbon ecosystem will help this kind of services, not only carbon but other services that the ecosystem can provide will be flourishing in the future. So we have colleagues who share about ecotourism. So today we have ecotourism as well as tourism in general related to marine affairs to be exposed in the discussion forum. And certainly diving industries is very famous for Indonesia, but we also have problem here related to ecotourism. Next, please. How can we maintain the popularity of these places in Indonesia if we also produce so much rubbish like this? The numbers indicates to us that in 2050, the current production is 500 million tons per year. So in 2050, there will be more rubbish than fish in the ocean. I think the ministry is very much concerned about this and what we can do about it. So we hope that this summit can help providing information about this. Another aspect of blue carbon that are linked exactly to what we are talking today, a number of papers with sharing on issues related to shipping. The emission from shipment globally is about 2.3%, and that is about 5 to 6 billion tons a year globally. And Indonesia is promoting sea transportation, and certainly this will be a big issue that we have to be aware of today, and how this will be mainstream in the development agenda. A paper which are going to talk about carbon capture. Indonesia is flourished with the mining industry offshore, but also emitting a lot of carbon. We'll be talking about how carbon emission from this activity will be captured and put it back to the ground. So that will be part of the blue carbon ecosystem that we need to hear about. So blue carbon is not only mangrove or seagrass or coastal system, it's a blue economy in general. And we are open up and exposed to a bigger issue than just carbon. But certainly carbon is our main issue that we need to tackle. And we are glad to have a lot of people contributing. Next. As I said, we will have 60 people speaking, and 42 of them will be in the discussion forum. I was told that there are a number of people coming from abroad. Any of you coming from Europe? Some? Yeah. Africa. Any African? Yes. I'm not sure if it is only on the registration, but they follow online. Australia. Yes, some. Well, I'm glad we have people from all over the world. And Asia, except Indonesia, maybe Myanmar or Thailand or, yes, Singapore. Right, so we are next very much expecting that the thinking from this session will be mainstream also and related to the global agenda, including the Paris Agreement. And that's include how Indonesia can link their development with low carbon emission, and Bappenas and many other line ministries, including forestry, fishery, and marine affairs, are very much concerned about this. And certainly, blue carbon is closely related to SDG, especially SDG 14, is closely related to what we are talking about today. And I also need to mention that SDG 17 is also important. Nothing to do, you think it has nothing to do with fish or carbon, but partnership is very important. So today, we will be talking about partnership with other countries, with other initiatives, and that will help us to see carbon or blue carbon issue globally as well. And lastly, we have a lot of people in the academy thinking about mainstreaming biodiversity while we are talking about blue carbon. So the IG biodiversity target is closely related to what we are talking today and tomorrow. So we will see how biodiversity will be part of the ecosystem services that we are going to discuss. So we have a full picture of national agenda as well as a global commitment that Indonesia is trying to meet in the next few years. 2030 is a kind of milestone where things will be delivered. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Daniel. And we would like to welcome Bapak Emil Salim that just joined with us. Welcome, Bapak. And next, for opening remarks, we would like to welcome Professor Satrio Sumantri Brojonegoro from IP, President Indonesian Academy of Sciences. Please welcome.
The Honorable Director General of Center for International Forest Research, CIFOR, the Honorable Representative of Coordinating Ministry of Maritime Affairs, Professor Safri Buharudin, distinguished fellows, distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen of Science, is an independent institution established by Law Number 8 in 1990. There are 5 commissions, including basic science, on which this event is cultivated. IEP strives to promote the excellence of science for the well-being of the society. IEP keeps pace with the global community and global agenda, including sustainable development and climate change. IEP gears towards providing knowledge for informed decisions to the government of Indonesia. IEP is aware of the vital role of Indonesia's marine and coastal ecosystem. As the world's largest archipelagic country, Indonesia has an extensive coastline that lays about 99,000 kilometers, according to the Indonesian Geospatial Information Agency, along with the coastal ecosystem such as mangrove forests and seagrass meadows. They hold a significant role to the efforts to mitigate climate change, while at the same time promise significant economic advantage through well-preserved fisheries and aquaculture. IP, in partnership with the Center of International Forest Research, or CIFOR, organized a Blue Carbon Summit for the next 2 days. It brings together various stakeholders in marine sector, environment, and economy, including experts, high-level government officials, policymakers, non-government organizations, donor community, business actors, media, and like-minded community. The extensive discussion is expected to identify gaps hindering the mainstreaming of blue carbon in the National Development Agenda and global commitment, and pave the way to future direction of blue carbon development in Indonesia. It's also expected that today's dialogue would map out strategic direction to develop sustainable economic based on Indonesia's marine and maritime potentials. Environment and biodiversity issues have been a long-term concern of IP. We have organized several scientific meetings, including 2 seminar events that highlights Indonesia's mega biodiversity, especially in the Wallacea region, that inspires the discovery of the theory of evolution and biogeography. IP, with Indonesian Young Academy of Science, put together a consensus report entitled Science of Indonesia Biodiversity, expected to be launched on October 2018. It will explore the potential of Indonesia's biodiversity to meet global commitment to mitigate climate change and to improve the livelihood of its people. Blue Carbon Summit is timely conducted amid the increasing attention from national and international communities, including Indonesia's ambition to capitalize its maritime potentials. Also, the coordinating Ministry for Maritime Affairs and Ministry of National Development Planning have just organized a national conference to promote Indonesia's geoparks, including Raja Ampat, one of the world's marine biodiversity hotspots. To conclude my remark, may we all have fruitful discussion, and may Allah God Almighty bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Satrio Brojonegoro. And next, for opening remarks, we would like to welcome Mr. Robert Nasi, Director General CIFOR, Center for International Forestry Research. Please welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are here, and it's magnificent. It's very nice building, and it's really a surprise to discover such a nice building. So, such a nice one. Thank you for the Academy of Science. We are here to correct a bit of an imbalance. If you look at a lot of the news in terms of carbon these days, it's about the Amazon, it's about the rainforest, it's about deforestation. But if you think of it, 60% of the world population is living on the coastal area. And this coastal area, it's a bit of a place that seems a bit forgotten. So people are working on the ocean, on the blue economy. They are talking about the green economy, the environment, the orangutans, the rainforest, and what is happening in the coastal area seems a bit forgotten. And I think it's a great time for us to bring that to the fore, and in terms of this blue carbon, mangroves, salt marshes, seagrass, this all kind of system, which is in fact both depending on the health of what is happening upstream and what is happening in the ocean. And that, as I said, hosts 60% of the world population and quite a lot of our large infrastructure. Cities like mangrove also having to adapt to climate change and sea level rise. So it's very important for us to protect what can be protected, but it's also very important for us to understand how these ecosystems work and how we can restore them. Because if we don't do that, I mean, sort of the latest paper that was produced, they are forecasting something like by 2050, the sea level rise will cost the world economy $14 trillion. So it's too big for me. I mean, there are too many zeros. It's difficult to represent what is $14 trillion, but it's a significant amount of the world GDP. And if we don't do anything about this coastal area, about blue carbon, about the ecosystem, this is what is going to happen to us. And even closer, I mean, sort of people expect that the whole internet will be totally disturbed or broken down because a lot of the infrastructure that helps with the internet, mainly the cable and the fiber optic, well, they are now theoretically below sea level, and quite soon they will be under the sea. So if we don't do something, we may also lose some part of the internet. So just to remind everybody in this room, the coastal ecosystem are fundamental for the survival of the species, for a lot of ecosystem services, for biodiversity, for blue carbon, and I think that we will have a very good 2 days of discussion, and I wish all the success, and I hope that both the Indonesian government and other government will consider the recommendation of this conference in terms of policy and in terms of future decision. Thank you very much.
Would you like to stay at the stage, Mr. Nasi, for opening ceremony? And we would like to welcome for joining to the stage Mr. Professor Satrio Sumantri Brojonegoro for opening ceremony by hitting the gong. Yeah. How about want to get all the side one? We can 3, okay? 2. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the opening for Blue Carbon Summit 2018. Would you like to stay in the middle of the stage for taking a picture? Yeah. Please joining, Professor. You can shake hand or for a better style. Yeah, thank you. And thank you. And we would like to invite all the VIP members to join to the stage for the memorize this event. Please welcome. Profesor, Bapak Sabri, silahkan. Ibu, silahkan bergabung ke depan. Ini sebuah tanda bahwa kerjasama dilakukan oleh berbagai institusi ya untuk masa depan manajemen karbon di Indonesia, blue carbon di Indonesia. Oke, let's begin a big applause for the future of blue carbon development in Indonesia. Can you give a style please like this for the future of blue carbon Indonesia, or just like this ya? It give you menunjukkan semangat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Silakan ya. 3, 2, 1. Yay! For the future of blue carbon development in Indonesia. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please be seated. Our distinguished guests, this is the closing of our opening ceremony of Blue Carbon Summit 2018. And we would like to welcome to all VIP members join to the 4th floor to see Blue Carbon Management Expo that will be followed with the press conference. And to all participants, we would like to invite for enjoy coffee break in front of this auditorium. And we will join in this auditorium again for the next session. It's in the 10:30. Thank you so much and see you. Enjoy.